scorching and scintillating Friday evening to one and all, to club president, to members and guests. Also morning or afternoon to everyone out there, since we are an international club. Welcome to Singapore SG Online English Toastmaster Club. I'm Alicia Chia and I'll be your Toastmaster of the evening. And I'm very excited to share that we have a very exciting program tonight. We will start from 9 p.m. and end around 11 p.m. And the program comes in 3 parts. The first part will be our table topic segment, where it is the traditional thinking on your feet, better thinking part of the program. Then we will progress to our prepared speeches. And we have at least 8 speakers lined up. And finally, the third portion will be the evaluation, which is the better thinking, or rather the better listening portion of the program. And the theme today is confidence. Yeah, I know every one of you here is thinking, with this COVID-19, it is not a very confident time of the year. But it is only a perception. So this program tonight, we will have a wide variety on the perspective of confidence. And confidence can be built in Toastmasters. Remember, in Pathway, confidence is the 5th module. As you practice more, you will gain confidence in your speeches and get better and better. Today, we will learn from other people's perspective. And I have something special for everyone today. As the theme is confidence, I will be on the lookout for a member or guest who portrays the most confidence in whether it be table topic, prepared speeches, or evaluation. And just like the soccer in US, where they have this most valued player award, I will look out for the person who shows the most confidence and select that person, and that person will be awarded the most confident award later this evening. So stay tuned to the end of the chapter meeting where we'll hand out this special award. As for the program itself, we have some slight changes. Today, our grammarian is unfortunately sick, so we wish him a fast recovery. And one of our speaker will be speaker number 5. She will be coming in a bit later, so we will push her to the last speaker. So without much ado, I would like to pass over the baton to our club president, DTM Willie Low, to share with us his opening speech. Over to you, President.
Thank you, Toastmaster Alicia. Self-confidence is an essential part of leadership. A leader with self-confidence is positive about the future and is willing to take the risks necessary to achieve their personal and professional goals. A leader who lacks self-confidence, on the other hand, is less likely to feel that they can achieve their goals with a negative perspective about themselves and what they hope to gain in life. Attitudes that are destructive to leadership and success. The good news is that self-confidence is something you can improve and build. Not every leader is born with natural self-confidence. That is something they use to boost themselves. Address your doubts. Everyone has self-doubts, but if you go address it, it doesn't go away. Your inner voice of self-doubt is never helpful and it will hold you back. Identify it words to understand its origin and resolve to fill it out entirely. Learn to leverage your self-confidence, self-doubt into confidence. The simple version is this. When in doubt, concentrate on what you know how to do and how well you do it, and put all the self-doubt aside. If you focus on your confidence and capability, you will find the confidence you need. Third item is eliminate triggers. Avoid negative thinking or spending time around things that you can feel bad about yourself. Those triggers may be people or places or situation. Anything that leaves you thinking you are not good enough. The fourth point is recognize your talents. Spend some time recognizing and reconnecting with your stronger talents to stay focused on your strength. Look inwards instead of outwards to avoid comparing yourself to others and falling into the trap of the imposter syndrome. Nobody knows what an unqualified loser I really am. Give yourself permission to take pride in what you do well and to express yourself in talents and strength. Fifth point, bounce back for your mistake. Remember that no one is perfect. Even the most confident people have insecurities. And there is no one alive who hasn't made a mistake. Go let one wrong turn or even a few of them make you think you go have what it takes to achieve your goals and reach your success. Sixth point, surround yourself with people who believe in you. Nothing is as powerful as people who think you are great, who believe you can do the impossible, and who have all the confidence in the world in you. Surround yourself with those people, and be intentional about maintaining connection. Stick with the people who live your perspective and avoid or at least still out those who make you feel bad or doubt yourself. 7 point, take pride in yourself. Many people think that taking sorry, I was disconnected just now. So over back to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you, Club President DTM Willie. Thank you. Despite the IT glitch, our club president still has the confidence to come back. So it was very good that he shared with us so many points about building your self-confidence. So I hope everybody here can pick up some points and start to build your confidence despite this COVID-19 situation. is just a temporary situation. More important is about yourself, building your confidence. Right, before we start the program, there's a few online protocol that I would just like to share with our audience. When you're not speaking, just mute yourself. And also, let's say if you want to clap, we will always do this online clapping with shaking, or you can also use the emotion icons below, the thumbs up, the clapping icon as well. All right. And obviously to also off your devices to silent mode in case you're speaking and your phone suddenly rings or that part of the speech. No, that was just a joke. Right. Now, I'm very happy to start our first segment of the program, which is the table topic segment, or rather the better thinking segment, thinking on your feet. And I would like to introduce our table topic master, who is Toastmaster Navin.
Hey, good evening, people. Hope you're having a good time so far, whichever part of the world you are at. So our theme today is confidence. So I would like to arrow someone to confidently come up here and share with us one of the many 20 table topics you all have. Alicia, we have 20, right? Am I correct?
Yes, correct, 20.
All right. So before why don't we warm up with some of the experienced speakers first before we get the guests to speak. So I see there are some really good speakers out there. Vivek, would you like to try it out?
Oh, everybody.
Hey, don't worry, it's okay. You can eat and try it out as well.
Yeah, I have to do it confidently, right?
Absolutely.
Confidence.
That's right, man. That's right. That's
Oh,
the
God.
spirit.
Okay.
So from 1 to 20, what number would you like? Or what number do you have?
9.
9. Okay, Alicia, show us number 9.
Oh, wait. Is there a screen?
Willie will share the screen.
I think Alicia is trying to share with us the screen. Thank you, Alicia.
Yeah, who is the timer for this? Timer, Dira.
Yes, number 9. Confidence is a very fragile thing by Joe Montana. Confidence is a very fragile thing by Joe Montana. Over to you, Vivek.
Anything that is earned is fragile. Just like trust, confidence is also something that is earned. Earlier on, Willie has already mentioned that not everybody is born with confidence. It is something that you can nurture, and because of that, it comes with the title of it being earned. And because it is fragile, how then do we treat this hard-earned confidence? Do we flaunt it around? Like how I would flaunt a newly bought dress to my husband? Or do we keep it hidden, like some precious item, not wanting to use it, fearing that it might get lost or get hurt? But there is where I remind all of us that the beauty in life is to embrace every moment and enjoy whatever that comes our way. And that goes the same with whatever blessings that that is given to us. So with the hard-earned confidence, no matter how fragile it is, flaunt it and use it to the best of your abilities, just like how you would spend every single penny of your money the moment you get your paycheck, and wait with bated breath for the next pay to arrive. So as much as you have earned that confidence, confidently flaunt it, use it, no matter how fragile it is, you can earn it back, and only then you will be a much more confident person. Back to you.
Thank you, Vivek. Thank you, Vivek. That was fascinating. You do need to have that confidence. I see someone familiar over there. Anand, come on up here, man. You're a confident guy. Anand is always oozing with confidence. Come on, give Anand a big round of applause. But wait a minute. I have forgotten. So the table topic segment, first minute, the speaker has 1 minute to speak impromptu. After that, he has to wrap it up by 1:30, 1 minute 30 seconds. After that, by 2 minutes, he's in the red zone. 1 minute is a green zone. 1 minute 30 seconds, he's in the yellow zone. 2 minutes, he's in the red zone, and by 2:30, the buzzer will ring. So, Anand, over to you. What number would you like?
Okay, let me try. What number did Vivek take?
9 is already
No,
taken.
Okay, I'll take 10.
Okay, 10. Number 10. Okay, confidence isn't optimism. Wait, hold on, I'm trying to get or pessimism, and it's not a character attribute. It's the expectation of a positive outcome. So confidence isn't optimism or pessimism, and it's not a character attribute. It's the expectation of a positive outcome. Rosenberg, Morse, Cantor. Over to you, Anand.
All right, thank you. Thank you, Naveen. This is a very long table topic, and you need some level of confidence in order to attempt such a topic. So let me break this down. Confidence isn't optimism or pessimism. Is that true? It's not, and it's not a character attribute. Well, confidence is something you have to build, like what Vivek mentioned earlier. It is something fragile, but once you build upon it, it is a type of attitude which you have to wear, that I am confident, yes, I can do it. And the only time where it starts building upon is when the positivity comes out of it. That means what you expect and you realize that expectation, then you feel positive, yes, I did something well. And that builds on to your confidence level. Now, is this something easy to do? Well, it takes a lot of practice, and you have to expect a lot of failures as well. But over time, it will build up your ability to just go ahead and try it and not expect what the outcome is going to be. You're just going to hope for the best, and that positivity will help you build your confidence. So, like, I know someone here whom I later asked to attempt this table topic. When she first came, she was she was not very confident to stand out in front of the crowd. But over time, she grew confident enough and actually attempted a contest, and she went up all the way to the division level. So that shows that how confidence can build on someone. And if you're just willing to push yourself for it, expecting a good outcome from it, you will be a confident person. Thank you.
Oh, that was fascinating, Anand. It takes a lot of time and effort. Yes, absolutely agreed. So, okay, who do we have next? How about, I see we have some guests.
Can I volunteer, Chowi?
Who is speaking, sorry?
Anand here. Can I volunteer, Chowi?
Volunteer who?
Chowi, Tan Chowi.
All right, Cho Hui. Yes,
All right, that's
someone has
amazing.
arrowed you.
Thank you, Anand.
Oh,
Most welcome.
Cho Hui, what number would you like?
Is number 1 taken?
Nope, it's not.
All right. Can I have number 1, please?
Number 1, number 1. Yep, okay, I'll give you number 1. I think I have it somewhere here. When you have a lot of confidence and you feel like nobody can beat you, it's game over for everyone else. When you have a lot of confidence, and you feel like nobody can beat you, it's game over for everyone else. Jason Day. Over to you, Cho Ming. Cho Hui Yao.
Yes, thank you. Okay, let me see where's the timer first. Yeah, okay. When you have confidence, you would say that it's a game over. From this particular statement, I don't really agree, because having confidence is positive. So it drives you to do even better. So I don't see why that confidence will drive you and it means that it will be a game over kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Because when you have failure, if you have lost your confidence, you will know that, yes, I knew I need to build up my confidence. So this is the drive that you're going to get. If you don't have failure, there's no drive, because everything is successful, everything is smooth. So you're thinking, I can take it easy. Everything comes easy for me. But if you have failure or something that you did not do well, eventually you will still tell yourself, yes, I have to buck up, I have to work hard, I have to study, or I have to ask for help. So certain things will come along and you need to drive yourself to build up the confidence. So I think that having it is a good thing. It's not a bad thing. Yeah. Thank you. Back to you.
Thank you, Cho Hui. That was an interesting perspective. So I can see we have some guests. Or would some of the guests like to try? How about Jono? Jono, would you like to try?
Yes, sure.
Yeah. What number would you like? 1, 9, and 10 are taken.
7?
1, 9, and 10 are taken.
I'll go for 7.
7, is that right? Okay. Confidence comes from hours and days and weeks and years of constant work and dedication. Confidence comes from hours, days, and weeks and years of constant work and dedication. Robert Staubach, over to you, Jono.
Thank you, Topic Master. Fellow Toastmasters and most welcome guests. Confidence comes from hours and days and weeks and years of constant hard work and dedication. What does that mean exactly? If we was to revert refer confidence as a Lego brick, where we could build it one piece at a time. What would that look like? Because the thing is, with Lego bricks, we could build it up high, but people could also take it apart. And that's very similar to how we use confidence. We could go for trying out something new, like public speaking. We could speak all we want, but we never find fault until someone else says, maybe you could do something better, or maybe if you don't speak like that, or maybe you don't use that certain word, or that's not the language how we speak. That's when your confidence starts taking a step back. But it takes time and effort and hours and days to work on that confidence again, to rebuild that brick. We have to keep piecing it together. We have to keep moving certain different elements and skills. We have to try different things. We have to see what works. And when we find what works, we develop that confidence to keep going. That's when we start building up more confidence to speak up, to enter contests, to enter divisional roles. We take up more participation, and we try out different things. And that's very similar to how we use confidence. But what does confidence mean to you, and how would you use it? Thank you, Topic Master.
Thank you, Jono. That was an interesting perspective. How about Rob? Rob from China. Would you like to try? You got to unmute, yeah. Yeah,
I
Rob,
cannot clearly understand you.
okay, would you like to try a table topic?
Yeah. I would like.
Okay, what number would you like?
I select a topic. Yeah. Table topic 3. Okay. 3.
Number 3. All right, you got it. Number 3 it is.
3.
Okay, so the
You
table
have
topic. When you have confidence, you can do anything.
anything?
Sloane Stevens. When you have confidence, you can do anything. Sloane Stevens. And over to you, Rob.
Yeah. I think if I have a confidence, I can do what I want to do. I'm a doctor. I just graduated. When I invent prescription, when I see many patients, they cannot cure by a traditional method. Or I have a confidence to cure this disease, just as ulcerative colitis. It is it's difficult to cure, to heal. So I can refer to many magazines and the traditional Chinese medicine and Western medicine. I can find the way to solve this problem. Combine the traditional Chinese medicine and with Western medicine together to find a new way to cure the patient. So because I have a confidence, because I think I can do these things, finally I am successful to find the new way to cure. So I think this is a difficult task to do, but I succeed, fortunately, because I have a confidence, because I want to serve, to help this patient, because about last century, 1991, I encounter, I meet many this patient. So according to my experience, if you want to do something, you must have confidence. When I was attended the Washington D.C. Convention, 2012, Singapore's guy. The guy is a champion. And so I think he is very young, but he got champion in Washington Convention in 2017. So I see he is confident. He performed very well. So the confidence is very, very important. But I think the brave stamina also is important. If you want to achieve something, if you want to finish something, you must have a confidence. You must have a bravery. You must have a stamina to persevere your goal, so you can hit your mark. Thank you.
Thank you, Rob, for that insight. Really insightful. I can see with your confidence you will go far, sir. So sorry because you went over time. Sorry about that. I should have reminded you earlier. It's my fault. But let's go to the next table topic session. How about June,
Okay,
would you
for
like
those
to...
who want to, sorry, table topic master, for those who want to volunteer for table topic, you can put your name in the chat.
Table topic master Navi. I think Abdul wants to go for the
Yeah,
table
sure.
topic.
All right, Abdul, would you like to try perhaps? What number would you like?
Number.
And Vince will go after that.
Okay, I like to try number 4.
Number 4?
Yes.
All right, let's have a look at what you got under number 4. Confidence is everything. Confidence is what makes that simple white tee and jeans look good. Ciara. Confidence is everything. Confidence is what makes that simple white tee and jeans look good. Ciara. Over to you, Abdul.
Yes. First of all, if you want to, you have to be mentally ready. Anything that makes you want to do it. For example, let's say you want to go for an interview or you want to meet someone. First thing you have to do is get up in the morning and you have to be prepared by dressing nice, looking sharp, fixing your hair, fixing your nice clothes. You got to be mentally ready, prepared. With confidence and getting ready, the first thing in the morning will make your whole day much easier. It takes time. Confidence takes time, but it all pays off by putting a lot of efforts. It only takes 1% or 2%, just like Tony Robbins said. He said, if you put 2% every day confidence, 2%, you make a big, drastically big difference throughout the whole day. And before you know it, in 1 year, you improve and boost by so many percent of your confidence. Confidence takes time, but it goes a long way. And we all need help. But the only way we do it is that we have to be prepared and get help. Ask your friends, get a mentor. Without this, how are you going to go far? So always believe in yourself, no matter what. Because if you don't, how are you going to have confidence? Thank you.
Thank you, Abdul. That was fascinating. Okay, how about Vince? You volunteered. Would you like to go? Vince Criniti? Would you like to choose a number, Vince?
Perfect. Thank you. 20, please. I don't believe 20 was selected, correct?
Yeah, no, 20 is all for you. So there's number 20. We have 20 here. The most beautiful thing you can wear is Confidence by Blake Lively. The most beautiful thing you can wear is Confidence by Blake Lively. Over to you, Vince.
Thank you. Fellow Toastmasters and guests. Table topics I received is the most beautiful thing you can wear is confidence. It's an interesting table topics, and it's very similar to the way Abdul had mentioned his table topics, in that when you get up in the morning, we obviously all have had bad days. You have to brush it off, put on your confidence, and wake up knowing first thing in the morning, here's what I'm going to accomplish. And if we're confident, even the slightest bit that might bring us down or get us upset, you have to have the confidence to bounce right back and accomplish your goals that you have set out, whether they're small goals or large goals. We have to have the confidence to do well. I'm a huge sports fan, so these times are killing me, as well as I'm sure a lot of other folks are dying without sports. I am a diehard football fan, and with football, when you get, let's just use a wide receiver as an example, and a wide receiver goes down, and the cornerback, he blows the cornerback off, and the wide receiver catches the ball for an 80-yard touchdown pass. The cornerback who is covering him has to get up, brush off what just happened, and forget what just happened. Similar to a pitcher. When a pitcher gives up a home run, he needs to just brush it off, have the confidence to pitch the ball, not worry about what the next batter is going to do, and pitch to the next batter. So similar to us as Toastmasters or as human beings, we have to have the confidence to brush off any negativity and move on. You can't take it personal. You just have to have the confidence and the power to move on. It's the weekend. We've all been sequestered, obviously, but it's the weekend. Even though these days are running into each other, it's the weekend. And in Philadelphia, we're finally getting some warm weather. So I am looking forward to having a lot of fun time this weekend, knowing that I've got the confidence to go outside and enjoy myself. So you just have to have the confidence to do what you need to do. Table topics, Master.
Thank you, Vince. That was lovely. So our next volunteer is Dheeraj, who is the timer. So our lovely Toastmaster of the evening, Alicia, will take over timing. So Dheeraj will do the table topics, will participate in it. Which one would you like, Dheeraj?
17, please.
17, is that right?
Yes.
So 17. Confidence is a lot of this game or any game. If you don't think you can, you won't. By Jerry West. Confidence is a lot of this game or any game. If you don't think you can, you won't. Jerry West. Over to you, Dheeraj.
Confidence is a lot of this game or any game. This may not make sense at first glance, but when you think about it, it does make sense with any game. Going back to the football metaphor that Vince brought up, if you do not have the talent to play football, there's two things. One, you need to work hard for it. You need to work to get to where you want to go. And you need to work to be the best player that there is. Two, which is the more pessimistic way of looking at it, it's not for you. But unlike sports, I believe that confidence is for everyone. It's a very inclusive thing, and it's not a very it's not a very easy thing to get either. Confidence is very, very specific with person to person. For some people, confidence is public speaking. For some people, confidence is not stammering. For some people, confidence is standing up straight. So what is confidence to you? Figure that out. And I hope that it is possible for everyone to get their own level of confidence. Because if you can't, I don't think you ever will. So you got to keep trying. Don't ever say you cannot. Because the second you let go of that hope, you're done for. Table topics master.
Thank you, Shiraj. Thank you, Diraj. Yep, that's right. Sorry, I was doing everything in the background. So our next volunteer is Philip Dambisia. Am I correctly saying your name, Philip? Yeah, Philip. You volunteer? Philip Dambisia. What number would you like, sir? Yeah, you got to unmute your speaker. Yeah,
Sorry,
Philip.
I couldn't unmute myself earlier. Oh, and
Okay,
you, by the way, you did get my name right. So.
Oh, thank goodness.
Could I have number 6, please?
Number 6, yeah. Number 6. Number 6, yep. Skill and confidence are an unconquered army. George Herbert. Skill and confidence are an unconquered army. George Herbert. Over to you, Philip.
Thank you, Mr. Table Topics Master. Well, I grew up always hearing the adage, talent without discipline is nothing. Talent without discipline is nothing. And through that adage, I was put into positions where I would always have to work harder to get the things that I wanted. If I wanted to get into a good university, I had to work harder. If I wanted to be a strong chess player, I had to work harder. And through those efforts, I began to see my confidence in those efforts rising. And similarly, I realized that I wasn't as confident in the aspects that I may have been interested in, but did not dedicate enough effort to. If we break down what skill actually is, it's simply talent refined. So with that being said, I completely agree with the statement that skill and confidence are an unconquered army. Because if you do your best, if you continue to do your best, if you continue to elevate your abilities in a field, you will have a definitive level of confidence in your prowess. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Philip. That was something to ponder. So our last table topic speaker who volunteered would be Joan. Joan, are you there? Joan. That doesn't look like Joan. Joan D'Souza, are you there? Okay, what number would you like to choose? You got to unmute your mic.
Okay.
You got to unmute.
Can you hear me now? Yeah?
Yep. All right.
Okay, good. So I will take table topic 18.
18, all right. Skill and confident are wait, hold on a second. Okay, so the number 18 should be this. The circulation of confidence is better than the circulation of money by James Madison. The circulation of confidence is better than the circulation of money by James Madison. Over to you, Joan.
The circulation of confidence is better than circulation of money, correct?
Absolutely, yes.
Okay. My friends, circulation of confidence is better than circulation of money. I strongly believe in this. Mark Twain once said, "A man cannot be comfortable in life without receiving his own approval." Because your belief in yourself is more important, than money. That is what I believe in. Because there are three things that you have to believe in order to, because this is all about you. First is, you control your own history in life. You are the one who are always controlling your dialogue with yourself, which will ooze out confidence. And thirdly, you are not a failure, because failure is just an event. So my friends, if you don't believe in yourself, no one is going to believe in you. So, confidence is more important. Believing in yourself and confident person and circulating confidence with everyone is more important than circulating money, because confidence is like a river which flows around, but money is something which you can always earn back, but once you lose your confidence, it's very hard to get it back. Thank you so much, and back to you, Toastmasters of the day. Thank you.
Thank you, Joan. And that was our last speaker. So I'll give a round of applause to everyone who participated. Thank you. And now I'll take my leave and I'll pass the floor back to our lovely Toastmaster of the evening, Alicia. Thank you, Alicia.
Thank you, table topic master, Naveen. Thank you. I've become more and more confident hearing from everybody's speech earlier on. So let's confidently vote for the most confident table topic speaker. And for those who have just come in, I will be on the prowl for the most confident speaker, be it table topic, prepared speech, or evaluation. So do your best to show your confidence here. And you may just win the most confident award at the end of the meeting. So please help us to vote for the best table topic speaker. We've got 67% voted. We will end the voting when it hits 2 minutes, because I'm sure everybody is tired and wants to take a break soon. All right, we have hit the timing and we'll close the poll now. And we shall all have a 10-minute break. The time here in Singapore is 9:52 p.m. And let's take 10 minutes and be back here by 10. Oh, now it has gone 9:53. So let's all be back here by 10:03. Thank you. Welcome, everyone. We are now back to our second segment of our program tonight. And the second segment is Better Speaking segment. And here we have at least 9 speakers. The first speaker is our own homegrown Singapore Online Toastmaster member. She is Toastmaster Angela Lansbury. And tonight, she'll be speaking on her first icebreaker speech for Dynamic Leadership Level 1, Mastering Fundamentals Icebreaker. And Angela Lansbury is currently president of Brother Heights Advanced Toastmaster Club. She's also a member of Tampines Changkat Advanced Toastmaster Club and also a member of UK Caravans Toastmaster Club. Before I welcome Toastmaster Angela, let's invite her evaluator, Toastmaster Wiwik, to share with us the project purpose. May I invite Wiwik, Toastmaster Wiwik?
Okay. Thank you, Alicia. The purpose of Angela's project tonight is for her to introduce herself to the club and learn the basic structure of a public speech. That's a very big challenge for Angela.
Yes, despite a very big challenge, nevertheless, let's welcome ACG ALB Angela.
Thank you so much for that warm welcome. I'm an author, and I expect some of you would like to know how to become an author or how other people become authors. There are two kinds of authors. There are those who write what I call proper books, and I have written some proper books. Here are my proper books: Wedding Speeches and Toasts, and Wedding Etiquette. Oh, I've disappeared. And Unforgettable British Weekends. But I also write, I'm going to turn off my background. You can give me just a minute, because hello, I'm back with you. I also write, they're not improper books, they are self-published books. And I did this one for my next door neighbor who turned 91 yesterday. And I did this one for my late mother-in-law. Now, proper books are published by proper publishers and have big circulations, and the improper books or the self-published books often have very small circulations. And they are completely different, and they have different purposes. Now let's go back to the beginning. When I was a child, I had no idea how to write a book. Like many people in those days in the UK, I started by reading Enid Blyton, The Famous Five and the Secret Seven. And what I didn't know was that she had alliteration in the title with the Secret Seven and the Famous Five. And it was only when I got to secondary school that I was taught about alliteration and started understanding language. But I was still a long way from being an author, and I always wanted to be an author. At university, I didn't study English because I didn't have Latin A-level and I couldn't do it. I only had Latin O-level. And that was at the time a big regret to me. And I went to work for various publishers, and I also was a sub-editor on women's magazines, and I spent my time putting the full stops in other people's sentences and correcting their spelling. I got to be very good at spelling, and I remember going for a speed writing course, and I got 100 out of 100 for the spelling, and I said to them, does everybody get 100 out of 100? And they said, no, only about 5 a year. So I was very pleased about that. I still didn't know how to become a writer. Eventually, by chance, through being a writer of features and a member of the National Union of Journalists, a publisher contacted me. And then it all happened very quickly, and I was commissioned to do various books. These books made a lot of money, not for me, but they made a lot of money for the publishers. Years passed on, and I became an English teacher. And English teachers, I discovered you can be paid more for teaching an hour of English 3 times a day and writing an article. Never knowing whether the publishers were going to pay you. So I used to both. I used to teach English and write books. Said, those who can't teach entirely, I would learn lots of famous writers, and I discovered that many teachers.
Sorry, I'm not able to hear Angela. I'm having trouble hearing Angela.
What can I do?
Okay.
Hold on. Hello, I'm now speaking into a different microphone, and I've moved my mobile phone out of the way. Does that make a difference? Can you hear me? Good. Can somebody tell me the last thing you heard me say? No. Well, I'll carry on. George Bernard Shaw said, those who can do, those who can't teach. I disagree, because I looked at the blurbs on the inside cover of lots of books and discovered that famous authors were teachers, and I decided that teaching was a good thing to do. You could look at famous authors' books and their famous first lines and their famous last lines, as well as their titles, and copy them. Now, I can tell you, if you want to know, how to self-publish a family book which might only be read by 2 or 3 people in your own family.
7 of them. Angela, we still can't hear you.
Thank you, Angela, for confidently finishing your speech despite the disruption. We will now move on to the next speaker. The next speaker is Toastmaster Fiona Cheng. Fiona is currently one of our new members of Singapore Online Toastmaster Club. And today, she'll be delivering her speech from the Presentation Mastery Level 1, Mastering Fundamentals, Evaluation and Feedback First Speech. Let us have her evaluator, Toastmaster Thomas Cheng, who comes all the way from Singapore, to share with us her project purpose. Thomas.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the day. So 2 purpose statements. Firstly, the purpose of this project is for the member to present a speech on any topic, receive feedback, and apply the feedback to a second speech. Secondly, the purpose of this speech is for the member to present a speech and receive feedback from the evaluator. All the best.
Thank you, Toastmaster Thomas. And before I hand over to Toastmaster Fiona, her speech title will be I am Fiona. I am Fiona. Over to you, Fiona. And for speakers, please, before you start speaking, perhaps you could pin the timer so that you can see the timer clearly. Thank you. Where's Fiona? Where's Fiona?
Okay, I cannot find timer. Can I give me a few seconds? Let me pin the timer. Where's the timer? Sorry. Can anybody hear me?
Yes. Mr. Timer, where
okay.
are you? There? Timer
Yes.
with a good luck.
Thank you. Okay, I'm Fiona. Today I'm going to talk more about Fiona. I'm an English major. I spent 4 years in Tianjin, China. One day in 2002, we were having an English class, and the teacher asked all of us to do a self-introduction. When I finished my part, the teacher raised a question. Are you from the south of China? I was sensitive enough to realize he was implying I was having an accent. Back then, I was just just a young girl from a small town of Fujian province. I was really embarrassed receiving that question. We Chinese people have this obsession about authentic accent when it comes to speak foreign languages. The teacher himself wasn't any subtle to admit he was part of it. At that moment, I made up my mind. I would never let anyone throw that question at me any again. So I tried my very best to let my South area accent go away. Anyway, one of the method is I got some help from my foreign teacher, Matt. He would kindly enough download all the talk show program. It's called The Daily Show. It's a talk show made by American Comedy Central website, I believe. It was still popular then. At that moment, we couldn't have other disc to store. We only have the CDs. Matt would burn CDs full of the Daily Show programs, as well as some podcasts from Australian radio programs. He was really kind. But You know, CD rooms was limited to store all those programs, and as a result, I would keep bugging Matt for updates. It has been going for like a couple of years, then Matt quit his job. Anyway, I keep listening. I would listen to anything I can get hold of. That was great. I would describe myself as an ardent listener, just for the only reason I want to survive all the judgments, especially the bad ones. Call me a coward. I wasn't psychologically strong enough to ignore them or to argue with them. Don't judge me like that, or don't judge a book by its cover. The same thing, but you cannot stop people judging you. You shall better yourself. That's why I joined Singapore Online Toastmaster Club, because even I was an English major, I have been taking jobs in English related areas. I seldom have to make a speech. Even I have to, I would excuse myself to escape it anyway. Then I would, in the first couple of years of my job, I spent a great deal of time joining an online English website, listening and dictating all those English TV news or entertainment news, anything we can get access to. At the moment, we don't even have to use VPN to get access to those programs. That was a time we really missed. In 2014 to 2015, it was the first year my son was born. Then I quitted my job. I stopped doing things I used to like, and I started to take up the role of being a mom who couldn't be apart with her son. Listening comes back to my life in a different form. I start to listen to my son's needs and things alike. And when he grows up, we start to listen to the English nursery rhymes together, or audios for those picture books. I really love the reality show Survivor, but I do believe you don't have to be on the show to be a survivor. Life is your stage. Take the floor. I'm Fiona. I come from China. I'm a new member of Singapore Online Toastmaster Club.
Thank you, Toastmaster Fiona, for sharing us your story of your English major and all your trials and tribulations. I'm sure it has helped you to be a more confident person and even speaker as you continue your journey with Singapore SG Toastmaster Club. Now, let's move on to the third speaker. The third speaker is DTM Li Shanshan. She's also a chartered member of SG Online, and she has other clubs such as Astro Toastmaster at Redimas, Toa Payoh Soft, and also Singapore Online Toastmaster Club. Today, she'll be delivering her speech from the Leadership Development Level 1, Mastering Fundamentals, Researching and Presenting. Now let us welcome her evaluator, Toastmaster DTM Marcus Raman, to share with us her project purpose.
Thank you, Madam. Sorry. Thank you, Madam Toastmaster of the Day. Toastmaster Shanshan Li. Purpose of the speech is to learn or review basic research methods and present a well-organized, well-researched speech on a topic. So you have got the title already, correct? Okay, back to you, Toastmaster of the Day, madam.
Thank you, Dr. Mokas. DTM Shanshan will be presenting her speech titled The Need to Move More. The Need to Move More. Let us welcome DTM Shanshan.
Now, how many of you are on your chair almost 12 hours, at least 8 to 12 hours a day? Yep. Most of us are on our chairs for conferencing, for work, for virtual learning. Even at work, most of the time I'm seated. Except for the time I have to stand up to go to the printer, except for the time I have to stand up to get the itineraries for the customers. Most of the time I'm seated from at least 11 a.m. onwards up to about 9:30 p.m. In between, not counting the breaks. Now, why there is this danger of prolonged sittings? How many of you are aware that there is actually dangers of prolonged sittings? Sitting too long can lead to many dangers. How many are aware? Now, while researching this topic, I came across a few websites, Mayo Clinic, WebMD, even Health Hub Singapore. They came up with this theory that sitting too long has this danger of getting type 2 diabetes, getting a stroke, heart attack, even cancer. Or, as Harvard Medical School has also published an article, sitting too long also has the risk of dementia. Coming to type 2 diabetes, how many of you, while you're doing your conferencing, your work, you have a drink of water, you have a Coke bottle beside you, you have your sweets beside you, you have your snacks beside you, just to keep you occupied so that at least your mouth is exercising while your hands are not exercising, because you need something to bite on while the lecturer drain on and on, something that you are feeling that you're falling asleep about, or the trainer is talking about something that you know, and somehow or other, you're going out, you're zoning out. So you need the drinks, you need the sweets. You also need something to keep your mouth occupied while the trainer is on, or while you're trying to think of something else to do. As for me, during meetings, especially virtual learning lessons or even chapter meetings, you'll find that my table underneath the camera, you'll find some packet of sweets, some biscuits, even a pack of water. Now, of course, plain water is the most important. I could finish at least 1.5 liter bottles 3 times in a day. And that is how I keep hydrated. Of course, you need to keep hydrated. So the danger of sitting too long is you're getting too much sugar inside and there's nowhere to explode the additional sugar level. So for me, even when I work, sometimes you'll find me with a very huge bottle of bubble tea. And of course, in Singapore now, bubble teas are not essential, so you will find that I'll have a bottle of bubble teas every time. No, even the bubble tea, sugar level 0, it's still very sweet. So take a note. Sometimes you might sit down and think, oh, okay. Health Hub Singapore has come up with this theory. Sitting too long, you get a 91% risk of type 2 diabetes. You get a 17% risk of contracting cancer, 18% risk of a stroke or a heart attack. Harvard Medical School come out with this article that Due to slower brain function, because you're sitting too long, you also incur the risk of dementia as well. So according to all these theories, they're all theories, but not forget the effects that you get. And of course, instead of growing vertically, you actually grow horizontally as well. Your waistline has increased. And in fact, now I think by the time we are able to get back to work, probably our uniforms cannot fit us anymore. We might need to request for a new uniform already. How do you get to the all this? I want to counteract all this. I want to say, okay, I am not really that, I still want to live a very long life, but how do you do that? Now, in the same few articles that they have, the WebMD, the Health Hub Singapore, Mayo Clinic, all this, they come up with this theory to counteract the effects of sitting too long. What are the effects? Firstly, do not stand up immediately after you sit for too long. After you're seated for too long, do not stand up, because you'll be saying, ow, my leg cramp. Then people tell you, why do you stand up immediately? Because you need to get your brain and your leg to work together in order to stand up after sitting too long. So remember, do some stretches. Stretch out your hands, stretch out your legs, or just simply stretch out, space out. Next is to walk about. Walk to the phone, walk to the printer to get the documents. Walk about every 20 minutes or so. Just walk about. Then the third option is to exercise. And talking about exercise, I really have a confession to make, because I'm not an exercise person. And technically, I can sleep until 12 p.m. every day. So I'm not that, but it reminds me to get my bicycle pump for a bicycle ride sometime. When is the sometime? I'm not very sure. So ladies and gentlemen, these pointers that I shared of the risk of sitting too long and the acts to counter, hopefully we'll have some tips for you to stand up more, move about more, and take lesser snacks if possible. I will end off my speech with this quote from Jim Rohn: take care of your body, it's the only place you have to live. Thank you. Back to you, table topic. Toastmaster of the evening.
Thank you, DTM Shan, for sharing with us the hazards of sitting down too long, and also sharing with us the strategies to combat for sitting too long. Indeed, people like us now, we are suffering from sitting too long. You know what you end up with? A nice flat bottom. That's a joke. Okay, anyway, let's move on to the fourth speaker. The fourth speaker is Toastmaster Navin Giri. He's our very own VPE, DL5, and also a chartered member of SG Online Toastmaster Club. He is also a Toastmaster of Pongo Park Toastmaster Club. And Navin is a Toastmaster who enjoys listening to music and taking a walk in the park. He will be embarking on his speech from the humorous and from the engaging humor level 3, increasing knowledge. Engage your audience with humor. So let us invite his evaluator, DTM Lee, to share with us the purpose statement for his project speech. DTM Lee, over to you.
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster of the Day. The purpose of Toastmaster Navin's speech tonight is for him to determine his style of humor and to apply it to a speech that centers around a central message. Back to you, Madam Toastmaster of the Day.
Thank you, DTM Lee. So before we welcome Toastmaster Navin, his speech title is Technology Fun. technology fun. It should be all about technology. Over to you and welcome Toastmaster Naveen.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the evening, of the day, evening, wherever you are, 24 hours around the world. And dear fellow Toastmasters and guests, thank you for having me here. You stole a flat bottom joke from me, Alicia. But nonetheless, let's talk about technology. We know that technology has improved our lives, but it has also made it more complicated, which is a dichotomy, because improving our lives but make it more complicated. How can that be? Take, for example, your humble smartphone. It's a communication device which is an upgrade from the laptop. It's so ergodynamic, it can fit into your palm of your hands and it can fit into your pocket without any issues. And you can be contacted anywhere. It's so convenient, two-way communication. Who would have thought about that 30 years ago, 40 years ago? But then the thing is, the bad side about having a smartphone, it spawns these creatures. They are called the smartphone zombies. These unfortunate creatures are possessed by their smartphones, so much so that they look down into their smartphones, unaware of their surroundings. They can become a hazard to the people around them and to themselves and to public property. There was an incident of a smartphone zombie that so engrossed in what he was seeing on his handphone that he didn't realize that there was a manhole, uncovered manhole in front of him, and he fell to his death. In actuality, smartphone zombie is an oxymoron because there's smart in there, the word smart in there. So actually, it just should be a moron, not an oxymoron. So the other thing about technology, it has given us a heads up in the sense that now we have wireless, or would I say hands-free technology. Going back 20, 30 years ago, if I were to talk to myself on a bus or in public places, people would think I'm not right of mind, would be crazy. They'd call the hospital to bring me in. But nowadays, if I talk without, I talk to myself or without anything on the park or anything, people might suspect that, I'm talking to someone on the phone, hands-free. So it's very difficult to differentiate between the crazies and the normal people. So I use that to my advantage, this device. Sometimes I'll go out in the park and I see a beautiful lady or someone that I find annoying. I'll just go up to them and say, hello. And when they say, hey, hi, I say, oh, excuse me, hold on. Actually, so I'm on the phone. So I use that to prank people, and I call that the hands-free prankster. So there's a divergence between these two, the hands-free prankster and the smartphone zombie. So one day while I was using this device over my head, the hands-free headphone, I was walking down the train station, and there was this guy who was coming towards me. He was a smartphone zombie. He was coming towards me and I knew something was going to happen. So I had to preempt, I had to prompt. So as he was coming towards me, I didn't have time to move away. So what I said is, look. Then he looked up. Then I'm your father. I didn't know what to say. I said, no, I'm your father. Those words from the movie Star Wars, when Darth Vader was talking to his son. And his son says, your father is dead. No, I'm your father. So he was saying, and I tried to flip it to my advantage. I told him that, no, I'm talking to someone on the phone and it's a very tender moment because I just found out I have an illegitimate son. So he was a bit perplexed, but we avoided something that would have turned into a nasty accident. But due to my, I wouldn't say quick thinking, due to the spontaneity of the of the moment, I had to say something. And so I said, look, but the word look transferred into the word Luke, as in Luke Skywalker, the character from that Star Wars movie. So the moral of the story is always the divergence of both the smartphone zombie and the hands-free prankster can converge. So my fellow Toastmasters, I would encourage you to use your technology to your advantage in creative ways, not in dangerous ways. Over to you, Toastmaster of the evening.
Thank you, Toastmaster Naveen, for sharing with us how technology is fun. And I have to admit, I myself am a smartphone zombie. Too much, and especially now with COVID-19, I'm practically spending most of my time surfing the online for things to buy or for the latest gossip or news. But nevertheless, thank you for sharing the fun side of technology. And now we move on to our next speaker. There's some adjustments in the program as mentioned before. Our next speaker will be pushed to the last speaker. And so we have brought forward our other speaker, Minashi, Toastmaster Minashi, ahead. And Toastmaster Minashi will be delivering her project speech from the interpretive reading, Project 5, the oratorical speech. And let us welcome her evaluator, DTM Dennis Ham, to share with us the project objectives. Over to you, Dennis.
Thank you. You had me muted. I couldn't say anything.
No worries. You're unmuted now.
Okay. Thank you, Madam Toastmaster. Okay. Our next speaker is going to be giving an oratorical speech from the Interpretive Reading Advanced Manual. And the objective of her presentation is to understand the structure of an effective speech and to also interpret and present a famous speech. And the time limit for her presentation is 8 to 10 minutes. Back to you, Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you, DTM Dennis. And Toastmaster Minashi is ACS ALB DL5 and also a chartered member of Singapore Online Toastmaster Club. Before we welcome her, her speech title is Gandhi March, speech by M.K. Gandhi, father of the nation, India. We look forward to this speech. And over to you. Welcome, Toastmaster Minashi.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the Day. So before I start, can everybody hear me and see me well? Okay, my timing will be 8 to 10 minutes timer. I've pinned the timer, I'm good to go. Good evening, Toastmasters and guests. Today, I'm going to present in front of you a famous speech, and it is going to fulfill the fifth project of interpretive reading, the oratorial speech. Pardon me if I have to look at my notes because this is one of the most special speeches that I admire, and it's very hard to by heart because it's from the Mahatma himself. Every time I read the speech, I get new motivation. To those who know Mahatma Gandhi, well, listen to me once more. To those who don't know Mahatma Gandhi, he is father of the nation India. Gandhi was known for his non-violent protest to get India independence from the British rule. He fought for women's rights and ending untouchability and Swaraj, which is the self-rule. Today, I will be delivering one of his speech, rather putting it in my own style and trying to imitate Mahatma Gandhi. This speech was delivered by him on the eve of the Dandi March. Dandi March is nothing but a salt protest or the salt levy protest. The British started putting levy for the salt, and the Indians, especially Gandhi, was no man to take it. So he decided to lead a march from the Sabarmati ashram to Dandi. It was a 384-kilometer walk that lasted 24 days. The march itself started with very less people, say 80 people, but before the march ended, it was world famous due to the news and everything that covered the march, because it was one of its kind non-violent protest. Here, on the eve of historic Dandi March, 11th March 1930, around 10,000 people gathered at the Sabarmati ashram. In all probability, this will be my last speech to you. Even if the government allows me to march tomorrow, this will be my last speech on the sacred banks of Sabarmati, said M.K. Gandhi. And the speech goes like this. I have already told you yesterday what I had to say. Today, I shall confine myself to what you should do after my companions and I are arrested. The program of the march to Jalalpur must be fulfilled as originally settled. The enlistment of the volunteers for this purpose should be confined to Gujarat only. From what I have been heard during the last fortnight, I am inclined to believe that the stream of civil resistors will be flowing unbroken. But let there be not a semblance of breach of peace even after all of us have been arrested. We have resolved to utilize all our resources in the pursuit of an exclusively non-violent struggle. Let no one commit a wrong in anger. This is my hope and prayer. I wish these words of mine reach nook and corner of the country. My task shall be done if I perish, and so do my comrades. It will then be for the working committee of the Congress to show you the way. So long as I have reached Jalalpur, let there be no contravention on the authority vested in me by the Congress. But once I am arrested, the whole responsibility shifts to Congress. No one who believes in non-violence as a creed need therefore still sit still. My compact with the Congress ends as soon as I am arrested. In that case, volunteers, whenever possible, civil disobedience of salt should be started. There are 3 ways to do it. It is an offense to manufacture salt wherever there are facilities to do so. The possession of salt and sale of contraband salt, which includes natural salt or salt earth, is also an offense. The third is the purchase of such salt will be equally made guilty. So, is the hawking of such salt. In short, you may choose one or all of these devices to break the salt monopoly. We are, however, not to be content with this alone. There is no ban. The Congress and wherever the local workers have self-confidence, other suitable measures may be adopted. I stress only on one condition. Let our pledge of truth and non-violence be the means for success. For the rest, everyone has a free hand, but then does not give a license to all sundry to carry on their own responsibility. Wherever there are no leaders, only handful of men that have faith in this program, they may do so on their self-confidence. The history is full of examples where there have been men who rose out of self-confidence to become leaders. We too, if we sincerely aspire to Swaraj and are impatient to attain it, shall have similar self-confidence. Much can be done in many other ways. Besides these, the liquor and the foreign cloth shops can be picketed. Refuse to pay taxes. The lawyer can give up practices. The public can boycott the law courts. Regain the litigations. Government servants can resign the post in the midst of despair. Resigning all around people, fear of losing employment. Such men are unfit for Swaraj. But why this despair? The number of government servants in the country does not exceed a few hundred thousands. What about the rest? Where would they go? Even after free India, not every government servant will retain their job. A collector will not have so many counterparts after the independence. So do not fear unemployment. Then there are women who can stand shoulder to shoulder with men in the struggle. You may take it as my will. It was my message that I desired to tell you before I started. If I am arrested, I believe that there are men in India to complete the work. I have faith in righteousness of our case and purity of our weapons. When everything is with us, God is with us too. There shall be no defeat to Satyagrahi. God bless you all and keep you off the obstacles from the path that begins tomorrow. That ended the speech on the eve of Dandi March. That was the words from Mahatma Gandhi before he went to jail. That was the motivation given to 10,000 people before he started a great event. That was one example event, and that was one example speech given by Gandhi to all those who aspired to be a non-violent protester. That was one speech that led India to march towards freedom. The speech was delivered in a corner of India, but the words spread throughout India. The march did not just start from Sabarmati Ashram. It also started from various parts of India, as he said. As he said, the men were arrested, but the march didn't stop. The march lasted 1 year long and continued until Gandhi was released. So, ladies and gentlemen, from this motivational speech that was delivered years and years ago when India was under British rule, what do we learn? At any cost, do not take the path of violence. Non-violence is something that is going to lead you and get you success. If you believe in it, if you follow it, you're going to reach the heights that Mahatma Gandhi reached one day. You're going to inspire souls with those words that Mahatma Gandhi told you. You are going to inspire your future generation if you follow non-violence. May the words of Gandhi last forever, and so is his speech. With that, back to you, Toastmaster.
Thank you, Toastmaster Minashi Chidambaran, for bringing us back to history with such a wonderful oratorical speech. Now let us move on to the next speaker, Toastmaster Vikanand Chowdhury, who is also a new, quite a new member of Singapore Online Toastmaster Club. And tonight, he will be speaking from the Humorously Speaking Manual, Project 2, Leave Them with a Smile. And let's invite his evaluator, DTM Toastmaster Gerald Ong, to share with us the project objectives. Over to you, DTM Gerald Ong.
Okay, Uncle Turkey will evaluate Weekend tonight. Here he is speaking objectives. Prepare a serious speech that opens and closes with humor story. Prepare a closing story that re-emphasize the speech main point. Deliver the story smoothly and effectively. Time is 5 to 7 minutes. All the best from Uncle Turkey.
Thank you, DTM Gerald Ong. And before we welcome Toastmaster Vikanand Chowdhury, I'd like to share with our audience here that our Toastmaster Vikanand Chowdhury's motto is live in the moment and says nothing ventured, nothing gained. He also belongs to Raffles at Mountbatten in Singapore. Now, without much ado, I would like to introduce his speech title, Getting into Trouble May Bring You Success. Getting into trouble may bring you success. So I don't think I need to tell you more about the subject, which is quite obvious. So let's welcome Toastmaster Vikanand Chowdhury.
Alicia, before I start my speech, can I please request you to unmute Dennis? And do we have any speaker from, any audience from Europe? Because if we can do one from each continent, that'd be great to see if my humor is actually working globally or is it just not working, you know?
Okay, let me find some.
And hopefully you can hear me. I'm using my phone. I don't know, all of a sudden I started having some technical challenges. So
I have unmute Lee Butley for Australia. Let me try. We don't have anyone for Europe tonight.
Okay, that's fine. As long as we've got 2 people or 3, like 1 American, 1 Australian, that's great.
I will get Edward for Canada to help us.
That's okay. 2, 3 is enough. Really, that should. Dennis and the other person and the third person should be good, hopefully. Okay, so I'm going to start. I think everybody's unmuted. Is that correct, Billy? Not everybody, I mean the 3 people. Okay, awesome. Once upon a time, I was young. Once upon a time, I went to school. Once upon a time, I used to get into trouble. Some of you may know from my last story, what I shared with you was that if you do things what you're not supposed to do, you can, 1, get into trouble, 2, have undesirable outcomes, such as squashing the fruit. The title of today's speech is Getting into Trouble Can Get You Success. Let me share a story with you. Good day, fellow Toastmasters. Our campus in high school had lots of fields. It was a large campus. We had domes spread out all throughout the different areas of the campus. The 4 different areas, we had them all spread out. They were pretty much on the boundary. In front of each dome, there was a large field. Our classes used to be held in the center of the campus. We had to walk from our dorms or from our rooms to the classroom. Now we all know that we can get into trouble in the class if we do not complete certain tasks, homeworks, or something else. But what I'm going to share with you is that we also used to get into trouble when we didn't do certain things outside the classroom. And I'm talking about activities all entailing outside the classroom. When we were young, we used to all dread getting punished. And the reason for that is because not only did we have to do all the normal chores, we also had to do our punishment. Our punishment would usually always entail some kind of physical exercise. It could be as simple as jumping jacks. It could be squats. It could be lunges. It could also be plank. All these exercises were physical in nature. Why did we get punished? Well, we got punished for a couple of different reasons. One, your bed wasn't made. Two, your shoes were not polished. Three, you were late for a meal. Four, you were late for some other non-academic event. And the list went on. Lazy Larry, Sleepy Sam, Ringo the Ringmaster were all friends together in school. Not only were we competitive, but we used to like to get each other into trouble. And when I say competitive, we never went all the way like pulling a Tanya Harding. Okay. No humor. Okay, so let's try again. Okay, so here we go. So as I said, we were not only competitive, we used to like to get each other into trouble. Now, Lazy Larry used to need no help in getting into trouble. He was an obese kid, lazy to the bone. He would drag his feet for everything. He would be late for meals. He would not make his bed. He would not polish his shoes. Punishments would line up for him just like ants do for sugar. Lazy Larry's punishments used to always entail taking a round of the field. Because we used to have fields outside our dormitories, he used to always get one which entailed running around the field. The first year, when he got all these punishments, Lazy Larry lost a lot of weight. We went for a vacation, we came back. Lazy Larry had put all that weight back on. Some things just don't change. He continued getting punished. At the end of the semester, we had an athletics competition. Lazy Larry was entered into the 400 and 800 meters race. Believe you me or not, it was very surprising. Lazy Larry got a podium position. Next year, things didn't change. Lazy Larry kept getting punished. This year, in the athletics competition, he came in first. Come next year, things still didn't change. He still kept getting punished. This time, he ended up breaking records. Lazy Larry kept getting punished all the way throughout high school. In fact, even till senior year, he was still getting punished. Except he was no longer Lazy Larry. He was fit like a machine. Not only had he become the fastest runner of the school and broken several records, he'd also become the fastest runner in the district. Lazy Larry became so good that he actually won himself a scholarship to a prestigious university in the US. This just goes to show that even though you can get into trouble, trouble can sometimes help you find success. Now, what I'm trying to tell you is, don't go out looking for success through trouble. That's not my message. Don't do that. Okay? There are lots of other ways to find success. Read some books, look at some other ways, find success without finding trouble. Back to you, Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you, Toastmaster. Likanan Shauri for sharing us how we can use trouble to get success. Very interesting perspective. And now to our final speaker. Our final speaker will be delivering her project speech from the Advanced Manual Specialty Speeches 1, Speak Off the Cuff. And let us have her evaluator, Toastmaster DTM Vince, to share with us the project objectives. Toastmaster Vince. Let's see.
All right, can you hear me now? Okay, sorry about that. I was trying to get my earpieces working, but that was a mistake. Okay, I apologize. Everyone can hear me, correct? Excellent, and you can clearly see my ugly face. So I appreciate everyone's time. Sorry about the in. So I am going to evaluate Pallavi. Pallavi is giving a topic called Speak Off the Cuff. So her objectives are to develop an awareness of situations in which you might be called upon to deliver an impromptu speech. Very similar to what we did earlier with our table topics. It's going to be, except it's going to be expanded. And I love this particular speech because it's a great way to start a conversation with complete strangers wherever you may be. So the purpose of this talk is for the speaker to present an impromptu speech of 5 to 7 minutes on a topic about which she is very knowledgeable at. So I was given a choice and I selected impromptu speaking, which is exactly what Pallavi is going to speak about. So I yield the floor to Pallavi.
Thank you, DTM Vince. Before I welcome our next speaker, Pallavi, I'd like to introduce her as she mentioned that the speaker's mentor once said the impromptu speech is always prepared, and so the speaker firmly believes in it. Today, the speaker, Toastmaster Pallavi, has taken up the challenge in her stride and would be speaking impromptu on any of the 5 topics that our evaluator has just chosen. Let's see how instant ready she is with no cooking and baking of thoughts. Please welcome ACS Pallavi.
What is in you? I repeat, what is in you, you all? A very warm good evening to friendly, fearless, and fantastic audience. My question still remains the same. What is in you? Now, what is in you in a particular instance will tell you what do you speak. And to explain that, allow me to share one story with all of you. Once there was a young man, and to earn his livelihood, he used to sell balloons at fairs. So every day on the fair, when he used to see many children around, he used to leave one balloon in the air. And he had balloons of all colors, you name it, red, yellow, blue, green, brown, purple. He had all the colors with him. And as a result, what happened, whenever he let a balloon in the air, the children used to see it and they used to rush around him and ask for balloons. As a result, what happened, his sales used to increase. And that way he used to make his earning. One fine day, he was in the same act when someone tugged at his jacket. And when he turned behind, he saw a young boy hardly 6 years old, he asked him, "What happened? Do you want a balloon?" He said, "No, I have a question." So quite intrigued by this particular child, he asked, "Yes, son, what is your question?" He said, "I've been observing you leaving balloons of various colors in the air, and they all go up high. Now, if you leave a black balloon in the air, will it go high? Will it fly high in the sky?" Amazed by the child's question, he was taken aback that why did he ask this question? What has color got to do with it? So he pondered for a few moments and he said, "Son, it's not the color that takes you high. It's what's inside the balloons that takes it high." So, dear fellow Toastmasters, the story that I shared over here has a moral that if we have to progress in our life, if we have to win the particular moment, we need to look what is within ourselves. And to further elaborate the particular story, I'll put it up in a scientific language that we know that normally when we blow air into the balloon, we are filling it up with carbon dioxide, which is quite heavy. And as a result, the balloon never goes up, even if we hit after going a certain height above, it will again fall down. Whereas the balloon sellers fill balloons with helium gas, which is quite light. As a result, when the balloons are let go, they simply fly high. So over here, we have to think, what are we feeding ourselves? Are we feeding something like carbon dioxide to us? Are we feeding negativity to us, which will always pull us down? It will never take us anywhere. And are we really filling up with helium, which is light, which is positive? And law of attraction says that positivity attracts positivity. So the more positive we are, the more chances is that we'll uplift ourselves as well as the surroundings. And it's quite true that when the law of attraction works for everyone, it not only works for you, but for your surrounding also. So when you are uplifted, the people around you also gets uplifted. Now, this is how you can win impromptu speaking. As I said in my introduction, that my mentor once said in one of his speeches, rather one of his impromptu speeches, that an impromptu speeches are the speeches that are always prepared. And if I go by what Mark Twain says, Mark Twain said, for him to prepare an impromptu speech, it takes 3 months. So trust me, if you are a really genius impromptu speaker, it really demands you to check what is in you. What are you feeding yourself with? Because if you, being a prepared speaker, you need to excel the skill of being an impromptu speaking. And to do impromptu speaking, what is required is that you should be able to speak on various topics. And how to do that? That means we have to select a certain set of positive, supposed to start off how to increase the data bank, the brain bank on which we are able to speak on various topics. We select various adjectives, we select various moods, we select various famous leaders, and then we start building our data bank or the brain bank on which we can really speak. Coming next further, how to win an impromptu speaking. Now, when we talk about impromptu speaking, there are 4 to 5 common ways how do we approach to master or to nail the impromptu speaking. The most common ones are prep, that is point, reason, example, and then repeat your point again. The next one is called as PCM, pros, cons, and my view. The third one is called as the past, present, and future. That means you come up with a different perspective on that particular topic on which you are given to speak. And finally, the modus operandi that I adopted today was the protagonist way. That is my own opinion, neither this way, that way. I navigate the talk my way. So, ladies and gentlemen, I put up to you again, what is in you? Are you instant ready to become an impromptu speaker? And at the end, I would like to thank very humbly, honestly, and a heartfelt thank you to my evaluator for allowing me to speak on topic number 4. Thank you so much. Over to you, Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you, Toastmaster Pallavi, for sharing with us how to do an impromptu speech and all the tips for us to win at the table topic contest. I'm sure everybody has learned a lot. So finally, we have come to the end of our second segment, the prepared speeches, and let us now vote for the best speaker. Mr. Zoom Master, please. Everyone, please proceed to vote for the best speaker.
We got the wrong post.
Okay,
We're getting the result, not the actual voting page. That is, I didn't get one.
Ah.
That's okay. That's okay. Thank you.
So sorry about the hiccup. For all the speakers, there's only one speaker that overshot. So those that you see are the ones that that spoke within time. Can we vote again? We have restarted the voting. Now we have 74% voted. So I give another minute for everyone to vote. So just left 20% more. All right, the polls has ended. And we'd like to call for another break, another 10 minutes break.
All right.
Welcome, everyone, to our last and final segment of our chapter meeting, the better listening portion, where we call it evaluation. Now for this segment, we will have our general evaluator, DTM Dennis Ham, who will be leading this last segment of the meeting. And Dennis, DTM Dennis, he is the right person to be the general evaluator, as he has gained confidence as an evaluator through his 30 years plus in Toastmasters. Most of his Toastmasters career has been in clubs located in the US, in Washington, and California. He currently belongs to 3 brick and mortar clubs, and he is also our chartered member and current VP. Without much ado, please let us all welcome DTM Dennis Ham. Over to you.
Thank you very much, Alicia. Okay, we're coming into the home stretch of the meeting, and this is where we actually benefit the most by listening to what our evaluators have for us. And please remember, if you are an evaluator, please make sure that you pin the timer so that you can stay within time, because you only have between 2 and 3 minutes to complete your evaluation. So make sure that you can see Diraj's his screen. He has also a blue screen and it says timer right now. So make sure that you can see that. Okay, I'm going to go in the same order as we spoke. So our first speaker tonight was Angela, and her evaluator is Wee. So Wee, please go ahead and evaluate Angela's presentation.
I cannot unmute myself. Why?
Yes,
Oh,
you're
there,
good.
I can unmute myself. Hello, everybody. Thank you for staying awake. And I've had the honor to listen to Angela, a person I know so dearly and so well already, that I struggle to understand why she needs to introduce herself again. But therein lies the beauty of project number 1 in level 1, the foundation, which is to sell yourself. And she sold herself immediately when she came in. I am an author. After going through like 10, 20 table topics, immediately we heard her objective of her speech, which is self-publication, self-publicity for her career as an author. And she dived right straight into the story of how she went through to achieve her childhood dream of becoming an author. She talked about Enid Blyton, and I'm sure many of us here can relate to that. And she talked about how she worked for Women's Magazine. Wow, I never knew you were that cool. She's now a cool lady to me. And that is also why I understood that she is the best speaker, best Toastmaster that I know, because her experience tells it all. And we all know that there is no free lunch in our lives, and she showed how much she has earned her title as an author through her life experience. So thank you for sharing with us your story, Angela. And then when technology failed us, of course it has to fail when she reached the climax of her speech, where she talked about her being an English teacher, and when she discovered that famous authors were once teachers, she was on a mission to dispel that belief that those who can't teach. And then the whole room went silent. The only way I can reconcile with that is to be reminded that once upon a time, I was that naughty student. When my teacher was talking, I did not listen. And now, no matter how much I want to listen, my teacher cannot be heard. So if you all can relate to me with this, I think we all need to go and find our teachers and apologize. In the future, this tragedy will not happen again. But being the teacher at heart, Angela she is attuned to the surroundings. She saw her students struggling to listen, doing this. Some were glued to the screen, like, what am I hearing? Am I hearing? Is it me? Is it me? It's not you, it's me. And when she realized that, she quickly jumped and changed her method of teaching. Instead of speaking, she did actions. She did actions so that she can still continue to relay her message, which is essentially is her telling me, if you need help to know how to self-publish a book, contact me. And she went onto the chat room and publicized her skills. So you need to find someone who wants to, who can help you become an author, look for her, Angela. The only thing that I would love for her to dive deeper is in that part, interesting point when she mentioned that the difference between the proper book and self-published books. I thought that was an interesting point, but it was not further delved in, and she just left it as that. So if time was in your favor, like time is not in my favor right now, go deeper into that, and I would love to hear more from you. I'm sure I have more opportunities for that. Back to you, Toastmaster.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mui. All right, moving right along, our second speaker tonight was Fiona, and we have someone who was willing to step up at the last moment to evaluate her. So please help me welcome our next evaluator, Thomas. Thomas, please go ahead and evaluate Fiona. Need to unmute. Let's see, can we unmute him? There we go. Okay.
All right, fabulous Friday, ladies and gentlemen, especially to Fiona. Today, Fiona shared with all of us her journey of learning the English language, and to appreciate that, I shall evaluate her using the acronym GROW because it exemplifies what she is experiencing right now. So G for grit and determination. She expressed to us grit and determination through her sharing, how she used to be mocked for her English to someone who placed in so much effort and attention to boost her English competency, to today someone who deliver her speech at a Toastmaster setting. And not only that, when she was sharing, we could see from her facial expression that she is really determined to master this language itself. And by sharing a personal story, it also elevated the sincerity and the authenticity of the message of having grit to learn English itself. Really well done on that. R for rainbow of vivid vocabularies and descriptions. Words such as subtle, words such as ardent listener, great deal of time, judging books by its cover. These vivid vocabularies facilitated audience visualization and internalization of what she'd been through during this situation in time, so we can relate and resonate with her deeply. And when we move on to O, she orated with clearness, clarity, and coherence. There were minimal stammering and stuttering. Her voice was audible, yet not overpowering. And this is commendable because English is not her native language, and she's a new Toastmasters itself, yet she speaks with competency and clearness. It's important for us to speak with clearness so that the audience can appreciate each and every word we say and absorb the information accurately, which Fiona had did excellently. Well done on that. Now, moving on to W, some recommendations for you to wow the audience the next time round. So firstly, Fiona, I encourage you to be specific on the transformational process itself. Specify to amplify the message. How were you before and how were you after? Right? How are you after? So perhaps before you were less confident, you were stammering, or you were not that confident in stepping out of your comfort zone. And after that, you become more confident in speaking English. You become more brave. You decided to step out of your comfort zone. How did you transform this journey itself? Share with us how you transform your journey so that you can inspire and impact us. Right? Be specific with the transformation. Secondly, learning lessons. What are some takeaways you want the audience to have from this journey of yours? Was it to never give up? Was it to step out of your comfort zone? Or was it to have a strong learning spirit? Share with us on the lesson learned so that you not only entertain us with your speech, but you enrich and enlighten us through your experience itself. So in summary, congratulations, Fiona. You show us your grit and determination, rainbow of vivid vocabularies, and you orate with clearness, clarity, and coherence. Share with us how you transform specifically learning lessons, and I'm sure you will be able to wow your audience the next time round. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Thomas. Oops, turn my video back on. There we go. Okay, thank you. All right, our next speaker was Shan, and her evaluator is Dr. Moklas. So, Doctor, would you please go ahead and evaluate Shan's presentation? Can we unmute? Still muted. There. Okay.
Thank you, Mr. General Evaluator. Thank you, fellow Toastmasters and guests, and especially Shan Lee. She gave a speech on a research topic. What she did good right from the beginning, she asked questions to the audience. I think she did very well in engaging the audience here. Her research topic was very useful to many of us who have sugar problem or diabetes or things like that. So it was a very purposeful, useful presentation. She used excellent body language. We could see almost half of her posture and confidence, and she moved from one side of the screen to the other side. So it was almost like a physical meeting. And I think we can all learn in this Zoom technology how to be more present in the speech. She had energy, she had enthusiasm, and she also entertained us with slight humor. Like when you're sitting down long time and then you get up, it's a kind of painful experience, some of us older folks. Younger people, it doesn't matter. But she did add some humor, which is always excellent. She had fantastic screen. Her background screen kind of fitted the topic, except I don't know if you want to drink beer, if you are diabetics. Yeah, you might as well put some lemonade or something like that, which could be more useful. Overall, I think she did a fantastic job. We have a lot to learn from her content, from her delivery, and from her language. Another cute thing she did, there was a nice pause between the first segment and the second. What area to improve? We all come to Toastmasters for learning, inspiration, and motivation. Slow the pace a little bit. I've always felt when I was nervous or not having enough confidence, we speak fast. Speaking fast seems to capture the moment that people are not going to catch me or tell me if I'm saying something right or wrong. So her pace was excellent. Her speed was good, but the words could be separated a little bit more. Overall, I think she did a fantastic job of conclusion, calling for action, doing something physical activity for all of us. Look forward to more speeches by Shan Lee. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your great evaluation. Okay, our next speaker was Naveen, and Naveen's evaluator is Lee. So Lee, would you please evaluate Naveen's presentation? Oh, you need to unmute. Okay, you need some help unmuting? Okay, you're unmuted. Okay.
Thank you, Mr. General Evaluator. Naveen, wow, I didn't know I was a smartphone zombie until he told us the difference. I thought I was a prankster to start with. The purpose of Toastmaster Naveen's speech tonight was to determine his style of humor and apply it to a speech while conveying a message to us. In listening to his speech, I found that his humor style was observational, which is the ability to poke fun at everyday life. He told us that technology had, on one hand, improved our lives, but on the other hand, also complicated our lives. And that's where the difference between the prankster and the zombie comes in. To reiterate Mark Brown, the 1995 world champion of public speaking, using dialogue is a powerful tool to engage the audience. Naveen demonstrated that tonight when he had two dialogues, hello, as well as, look, I'm your father, when he found out, or he pretended to find out, that he had a legitimate son. Naveen has a strong voice and he projected his voice well, but I felt that it was at the same level throughout the speech. By varying the tone, stressing on certain words, and changing the pitch and rate of the speech, he would have been able to convey a stronger message to the audience. What I heard was, look, I'm your father, or hello. He had the opportunity to use the dialogue, change the pitch when he answered the phone, hello, or I'm your father, on the other hand. All we saw most of the speech was this part of his head. So I would suggest to him, move back like what I'm doing. So that allows him the space as well to gesture, to have dialogues, and to vary his tones. I had a mentee who used to speak the same pace and rate like Naveen. I offered him a solution. Well, I challenged him actually to improve his tone and his speech by going out and buying children's book. Have you read this book? The Cat in the Hat. So what I did with my mentee was, for 2 weeks, I got him to stand in front of me and read out the book. The first time he went, no, not in the house, said the fish in the pot. At the end of 2 weeks, he was, no, not in the house, said the fish in the pot. They should not fly kites in the house. Oh no, they should not. And the way we did this was by saying to him, imagine you're telling stories to a bunch of 5-year-olds. If you speak like this, they will switch off within 2 seconds. But if you go, no, 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 okay, they will engage with you. So Toastmaster Naveen, I challenge you to take up the offer. And I will also agree, I am a smartphone zombie. Back to you, Mr. General Evaluator.
Thank you very much, Lee. Okay, our next speaker was Mina, and I will be evaluating Mina's presentation. Right, tonight, Mina, your presentation was to give an oratorical speech. I think you did a good job in selecting one. I think that this one, I noticed, I felt that you were really connected to this speech. I especially enjoyed the fact that since your Toastmaster didn't give you the introduction that you needed to explain what was going on, you did spend a little bit of time to explain more about what this speech was all about, the stage for the speech. You gave us more background about Gandhi and what the situation was, the long walk that he was about ready to take. So I felt that that was very good that you did that. And I felt that I felt that you were really connected to this. I saw that you were really into the presentation. You used gestures that were appropriate. You told us first that you were probably going to need to read it more, but that was okay. You did still have gestures as you were reading the presentation. You had pretty good eye contact with us. You did look up also. You had pretty good phrasing when you were reading the speech. You didn't just read it and keep on going. You did make some pauses in different areas to help people understand and listen and try to absorb what you were speaking. And I think that's the way the presentation would have been given, as Gandhi would have given that presentation. So one thing though I would encourage you to do is maybe take even a longer pause to give a little bit more emphasis into the presentation, because I think that when you're someone is giving a presentation to a large crowd, you just can't keep moving along as you were talking to a person one-on-one. When you're a larger group, people need to think more about what you're saying and then move on again. So if you were to do this again or any other oratorical presentation, I would encourage you to emphasize pauses more. I think that you, at the very end also, you did a good job of wrapping up the presentation. You explained a little bit more about the overall impact of the speech. So overall, I felt that this was probably the best job that I've seen you do in giving a presentation like this. Probably the only suggestion that I would have for you this time would be to possibly relocate your camera a little bit, because I felt that you were looking off to your right quite a bit to read your script, and the camera was off to your left a little bit. So it was kind of quartering you. So I'd encourage you to move the camera a little bit closer to where you were reading, so that it would be more focusing on the camera as you were giving your speech. And that concludes my evaluation. Okay, our next speaker, let's see, I think we changed the order. So the next speaker was Vikarna, and his evaluator is Uncle Turkey Gerald. Gerald, would you please evaluate Vikarna? Unmute. See, can you unmute yourself? Okay,
Yes.
great.
Thanks, Dennis. Thanks, Mr. General Evaluator. Greetings from Uncle Turkey, aka Uncle Chicken. I will use the tomato and the potato to evaluate Vikara's speech. Okay, so what makes it so nice as the mashed potato? Okay, his story was so relatable. It triggered a bit of laughter. I can pick up laughter in the voice from Dennis, from Lee. I don't know who else or other or part of the audience, but I can hear some giggling. Okay, so now how can it improve like the tomato? Okay, tomato and potato, when go together, they are interesting food to eat. So to improve his humor, because it's all about storytelling, and it's how well that you use the skills from the storytelling advanced manual, which is still valid until 30th of June, to get it to the maximum impact that you can keep us laughing and giggling. So that's why I had to use the tomato and the potato to evaluate you. So one thing or not, you might want to consider doing an exaggeration of certain part of your story. That will exaggerate and create the jokes laughter, because after training so many contestants, okay, and analyzing and transcripting our famous PQD, District 80 PQD, funny speech 10 over years ago, nearly 10 over years, I think 10 to 12 years ago, I spent nearly 3 hours transcripting his speech. And I found out some miracles that he did, okay, through the power of transcription. He had a play of words in his story that made the impact, of course, by making it more dramatic, and he shared with so much drama that even you can keep us. PQD is our program quality director, Kim. He was the district champion in 2009 for funny speech. Okay, you want the video? I will more than gladly to share with you the video on a private link. Okay, because having trained so many, this is some years of doing a lot of observation studies, and I have noticed this kind of interesting trends that every time when we pick up things from different speakers, you take the effort to transcribe. Transcription is a pain, but once you do the transcription of every speech of a very excellent speaker, I bet you will learn lots of interesting messages that you never know. They will just come alive. Because just me sum up a little bit in saying that you had a very nice story, okay, relatable, pockets of humor here and there, trigger a little bit of laughter. Yes, I know, because it's online, but at least from the sample size of the audience, it gave me, I know there were laughter points there. It's now how to stretch that laughter, okay, from a 5 seconds to a 10 seconds laughter point, because the average laughter is about 5 to 10 seconds difference, you see. So from there, you can look a lot of studies over the years of studies of humor speakers. At the time, I was crazy transcription, but that was close to 11 years ago. I was into transcripting speeches, and I found out why he won. Okay, I found the reason, and that reason he won, it was like he used a lot. If you can consider putting on what to meet our funniest speaker in town, okay, in Singapore. Remember, exaggerate, use a lot of wordplay, and of course, exaggerate to the maximum and give us lots of long laughter. May the turkey and Uncle Turkey bless you all the while. Merry Christmas and enjoy. Back to Mr. General Evaluator.
Thank you very much, Gerald. All right, our last speaker tonight was Pallavi, and her evaluator is Vince. So Vince, would you please go ahead and evaluate Pallavi?
Sure will. Thank you, Mr. General Evaluator, fellow Toastmasters and guests from all over the globe. I had the pleasure of evaluating Pallavi. And again, that's the topic of her speech was, the assignment is speak off the cuff from the Advanced Manual Specialty Speeches. And she was giving us an impromptu speak. And as I had said earlier, it's very similar to a table topics, except we're expanding the content. And I love impromptu speaking. We all enjoy impromptu speaking because it's just speaking off the cuff, picking a topic and talking about it. And it's a great conversation starter, or it's a great way to start a conversation when you're around people you don't know. It's a great way to network as well. To me, with an evaluation, there are 3 topics when it comes to a speech. You have your opening, your body, and then your closing, which is a call to action. With Pallavi's opening, she had an alliteration. She had friendly, fierce, and there was another word that began with F, and I'm drawing the blank on it. But I love alliterations because it caught my attention. Her background was pretty interesting. She had the virtual background, and it did say impromptu master, as a matter of fact, if I'm not mistaken. But then she went on to describe the balloons, and everybody loves balloons. If you've ever been to a circus or a park, everybody loves balloons. I have a daughter, and she loves balloons, so I used to always go ahead to get balloons for her. But she segued into, which I thought was fascinating, blowing up a balloon with yourself. It brings it down. It doesn't rise, versus using a helium tank that does make it rise. And then from there, she took it into positively attracts positively, negativity pulls us down. And then it occurred to me, that is so true. So when you breathe into a balloon, it's carbon dioxide, it draws it down. Yet positivity, in this case, the helium, so she painted a picture of the balloons. And it is true, positively does in fact draw positively. If you're out walking somewhere or you're going somewhere, if I'm walking out, I try and go for a walk every day. So what I try to do is when I see somebody, I smile at them and they smile right back. And in a way, it brings them up. But she had great vocal variety, which I love. I love vocal variety. It's a great way to get your attention. And her hand gestures were wonderful. She was moving her hands around. A couple of things of area of improvement, and it's difficult, I know, when we're Zooming, because it's hard when we're in the location to walk around. But similar to the evaluator earlier said, maybe take a step back and stand up, where you have the full frame to move your hands and walk around a little bit more. Lastly, her call to action. A speech isn't a speech until you have a call to action. And she had a great call to action. What's in you to give a speech? And I thought that was powerful because everyone has the ability to give a speech, an impromptu speech. Basically, she took a sign from Nike and says, just do it. What's in you to give that speech? Thank you, Pallavi, for your speech, and good luck in moving forward. Mr. General Evaluator.
Thank you very much, Vince. All right, that concludes our evaluations. And I believe, Mr. Timer, I think we had at least one overtime. How did we do otherwise? Oops, I see another one over. Uh-oh. Looks like we may have 2 overtimes at least. Okay. Okay, the polling is up.
With the exception of Vince and
I think
Vivek, everybody else is eligible.
First and last evaluators. Okay, while that's going on, I want to thank our timer, Garage, for giving us a very good job of doing the timing tonight. I think everybody pretty much saw what he had. I could see the screens were changing, so appreciate him doing the timing for us. Let's see, our grammarian is not here, so we won't do that. I'm just going to give you an overall evaluation of the meeting. We pretty much stayed on time. I'm glad that we are starting to make sure that the table topics doesn't go so long and we can stay on track. We did have several changes, again, unfortunately, in the lineup. we had one speaker who was not able to be here, and we had a couple of changes on the evaluators, but I do appreciate everyone who was asked to step up and be an evaluator for us. It's very much appreciated. I think the one thing that I would like to see us improve on is the muting and unmuting. When we mute everybody, unfortunately, when we're called upon, once you're muted by whoever's a Zoom master or whoever's a host, it's hard to unmute. So we may need to find a way to unlock the muting part so that people can unmute themselves once the meeting is going. But I understand when people are starting at the very beginning, we probably need to mute everybody. But as the meeting gets going, we may want to find a way to allow everybody to mute or unmute themselves. So that's the only thing that I have for improvement of the meeting. And with that, I will conclude my remarks and return control of the meeting to our Toastmaster of the day. Alicia, take it away. You need to unmute yourself, Alicia. Okay.
Thank you, General Evaluator DTM Dennis Ham, for giving us a very comprehensive evaluation of the meeting. And now we have come to the most exciting segment of our program, which is the award presentation. Okay. We have the results that are out for the best table topic speaker. Can we have a drum roll, please? The best table topic speaker is Toastmaster Vince. Next, we have the best speaker for the best prepared speech. The best speaker is, drum roll again, the best speaker is Toastmaster Pallavi. Congratulations. And now to the best evaluator. The drum roll again. The best evaluator is our guest Toastmaster Thomas Chen. And remember, I mentioned right from the start of the chapter meeting that I will be handing out the most confident speaker award. Everybody here qualifies for it, whether you speak out of time or not enough time. As long as you speak, you qualify. So drum roll, please. This is a special award to the most confident person in this chapter meeting. And the winner is, let me share my screen. Is Toastmaster Juno Poon from District 71, UK. Are you around? Congratulations. We will send you the
Thank you very much.
certificate. Would you like to say something?
Thank you for having me. It's been an amazing meeting, just to see how everyone in Singapore is doing their meetings. I thought I'd just pay a visit from the UK. I'm also area director for 71 as well, for area 44.
Oh,
so
wow.
I thought I'd see what everyone else is doing.
The reason why I've chosen you to be the most confident, to win the most confident speaker awards, because you're so well known. And not only that, you have used an excellent brick analogy in your table topic speech. Congratulations once again.
Thank you.
And I have another special award. Our club has this special thing that we are doing, that we use team-based group to manage the chapter meetings. And so we've just had a trial run of 4 teams. And our other ESCO member, CJ, has come up with criteria for the winning team. Let's move on to the next slide. We had 4 teams. And these are the criteria the teams were judged on: registrations, members attended, total members, Singapore online members, and the total score. As you can see, there's 4 teams out here, and 1 is for the least score and 4 is for the most score. So when you tally all the scores, the winning team is Team 4. Let's give that a round of applause. But I must comment that all the teams had their charisma and they delivered the meetings very well and managed it excellently. It's just that we had to have some criteria to decide on the winning teams objectively. So we present the slides, the certificates to the team leader, Sayafu, DTM Sayafu. If he's around, can you show yourself? I think he's not around. He's on the front line at the hospital working. And these are his team members. DTM Anand has gone off, I believe. Margaret Low, Toastmaster Margaret Low. Toastmaster Minashi Chidambaran. And myself in the team. So congratulations to all the winners and the team. And now I hand it over to our club president, DTM Willie, for his closing speech.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the Day, Toastmaster Alicia. Self-confidence doesn't mean that we are boastful. Self-confidence means that we dare to do the right thing and achieve what we want to achieve. For who? For Toastmaster, for our clubs, for our area, for our division, for our district, and most important, Toastmaster International. We are the members, we can't achieve the self-confidence. Earlier in the day, I have an interview was conducted by USK Toastmaster Club president, and I show her how I have been someone who have achieved, I have went on to deliver the promises, and then because of the promises in the first 3 years of my Toastmaster life, between 2003 to 2006, I got burned out. When I came back 2 years ago, I came back with a vision. But I was hit with a lot of negativeness, objection, and most important, and the worst thing, challenge that have given to me. I take the self-confidence to deliver what I supposed to be. And I know Toastmaster Alicia Child have been there to guide me go focus on the right thing at the right time. Which self-confidence, I almost lose confidence and almost want to say one thing, I want to quit, but I never quit. I just continue. And even Club Advisor Patricia Lam was there to support me all along. The last 6 months plus of this Singapore Online, we met up with so many changes, last minute withdrawal. Not people were interested to sign up, but last minute turn their back on us. If they are turning back on us, we want all to reach out to the world. This is the direction we are going through. We are not just a Singapore club, although we have 24 members that come from Singapore. That doesn't make us a Singapore club. This is an international club that is unrestricted. While here to move the direction of self-confidence to a greater height. I know moving all to a greater heights will mean everyone will get burnt out. With a team like Toastmaster Alicia Cha, Toastmaster Dennis Ham, Toastmaster Gerald Ong, Toastmaster Shanshan, Toastmaster Haki, Toastmaster Aaron Law, who is the club advisor, as Toastmaster Patricia Lam or CJ Lim, and the incoming Secretary Jennifer Lim. And Toastmaster Pano, who is the incoming Vice President of membership. And most important is the members of Singapore Online. Toastmaster Dibali, who just paid out last night. Toastmaster Thomas Chen, who are waiting for his membership fee and membership fee. And Toastmaster Wenna for China, who pays the trust to Singapore Online Club. And Toastmaster Dory, who came to support, who continued his journey to complete her advanced project. And Toastmaster Mina, who was joined us since the beginning of this year. And I believe everyone else have seen the progress of this member. So confidence is not about communication. Confidence is about leadership as well. That's why the team was confident, but I put it a secret word behind. That is self-confidence. And I will say one thing is, without the members, without the guests for overseas, we cannot reach this far. And I congratulate all the winners, including the best confident Toastmaster in this meeting that made this meeting a difference. Thank you, and have a nice week. We see you 2 days later in the speech mentor as well as this Friday meeting as well. Same time, same day, same time zone. The meeting have been adjourned. Thank you.